I'm not very good at best and most and things like that because to me it's just all a conglomeration of everything. But best advice, and I have a bad memory too, I guess it would be enjoy where you are, what you're doing, because it may not be here tomorrow. You may not remember it tomorrow. So just make the most of what you have.
Stay young, I think.
Stay young forever. Yeah.
I've been told too many times to get too old or don't get old. So I think that's the best advice. I'm going to try to stay young as far as I can.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're taking that advice?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah, I don't want to get
traveling
old.
around and definitely traveling and not being stuck at a job 24/7. You know what I mean?
I don't want to have to,
really
get down and tie my shoes and break my back. You got to stay young.
The best advice I've ever received: to say sorry quickly and to forgive quickly. I think that can just be so freeing and just allow us to reconcile with people so much quicker. And that's really a beautiful part of life, is to be with people and connected with people. So yeah, saying sorry quickly and forgiving quickly probably has been the best advice I've ever been given.
Wow. I don't know. Lighten up. Oh, am I heavy? Sometimes. But not now. Because I lightened up.
Always keep some money for yourself. This was for women. Always keep some money for yourself so that you are not ever dependent on a man. It helped me get away from my first husband.
Don't go into debt. Stay out of debt the best you can. Because I know it's really hard to stay out of debt, but for the younger generation, stay out of debt.
Mine, it would have to be appreciate what you have. I came from less fortunate, and I got to see everyone else who had more. He came from a very different lifestyle than what I did, and we came together and started dating, and we both had different visions on things, and he didn't quite understand it. And after we started learning more together, he understood different ways that you could do things a little cheaper. You don't always have to spend a bunch of money just to enjoy life. You know what I mean? So that's my advice probably that I've always stuck with for sure. Our childhood was very different. He's never had to worry about bills as a kid or the power getting off or anything like that. As for me, I did have to worry about that a little bit, not a bunch, but
the only thing I had to worry about as a kid, where are we going to go for our next vacation? That's the only thing I had to worry about as a kid, and I was very fortunate. And the only thing, I did not get to see my dad as much, so it really, really hurt me.
I've never had one person who has been a mentor for me personally, but I guess in our generation we have all these podcasts and YouTube and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that I follow online who give a lot of infinite advice. Same with books and stuff like that. I guess I can just I don't know about the number one best, but I guess one that's been pretty good is just begin again. That's one that I've gotten through this meditation app that I use, and it's basically just you envision yourself, maybe it's different for everybody, but you can envision yourself when you're 85 years old or something. Maybe you're close to dying, or you just don't have as many opportunities at that point, and you just envision yourself there for a minute or so, and then you just come back and you just begin again, and you just look around. You're just all right, I'm talking to a mic right now, I'm talking to you right now, it's not as bad, you know what I mean, as it could potentially be. And that mindset also helps if you find yourself maybe on a bad path, whether that's short term or long term. You could find yourself just on social media for 30 minutes, and then you're well, I gotta do schoolwork, but I just don't want to. But if you just stop, take a minute, and just begin again, then you can reset, you can go back and start doing the schoolwork again. So that mindset helps me.
Be ready for the hereafter. There's something after this. That's what I interpreted the best advice to be. The greatest book in the world tells you how.
Smile often. Keep your mouth shut. Smile often. That's from my daddy.
Oh, I feel like I needed to study up on these. The best advice I've ever received. When I was a kindergartner, a bunch of 3rd and 4th graders were teasing me And because my name's Dick, and I went by Dickie growing up, and I was crying at home to my parents, and they just said, you know what? The name doesn't matter. It's all about who you are. So I guess just not worrying about just trying to be myself. That was probably the best advice.
I mean, I guess it's okay to fail. The amount of times, I've always been a perfectionist, so failure hasn't really been an option. I haven't really experienced failure until I was in college, and getting your first couple of D's and F's on tests doesn't feel that great, but honestly, you need failures in life to actually kind of grow yourself and kind of go places. So just seeing failures as an opportunity to learn more and kind of grow from it.
One of my mentors helped me just be more willing to talk to many types of people. There's always something you can learn. If you're in a workspace and your colleague might, you have a task to do and your colleague might not be great at doing that task, there's definitely something that your colleague can be very productive on. A lot of times it takes actually personally talking with them and figuring out what their strong suits are to allocate tasks and stuff. But the main thing, I think a lot of my self-awareness and maturity has come from just talking to random people a lot of times, and especially about what their interests are. I like talking to people when they're enthusiastic about the thing that they're talking about. So
honestly, it's a simple one, and it's just be yourself. Be yourself. Life will be more fun. Life will be more genuine if you just be yourself. Don't try and please other people. Just be yourself.
The best advice I ever received was before my boyfriend passed away 2 years ago. The best advice he gave me was to do things in life unapologetically, because you only get one life. I mean, you make mistakes, yeah, that's true, but just do everything in your life unapologetically because, we're our own person. We have our own past and our own destiny.
It sounds pretty corny, repeat it, but I guess be the best version of yourself and always try your best. I always, ever since I was younger, kind of doubted myself and the things I wanted to do and always tried to pertain to being so-called perfect. But then again, no one's perfect, as, even with COVID and everything going on, it makes you realize and sit back, everything isn't probably what it's meant to be, what you thought it would be. So yeah, that's the best advice I have gotten.
Only worry about what you can control, because the rest, all you can do is worry about it, right? So you can't do anything about it. So don't spend time spinning your wheels, overthinking things that you can't control. And I'll say another thing that I like is questions open the door to truth, not answers. So always wonder. Never think you know, because you don't. There's too much to know. You don't know. And I'll move to an Einstein quote. The world or nature itself only shows you the tail of the lion. The rest is hidden. Therefore, all you see is a tiny, tiny little piece of reality. The rest is unknown, and you have to accept that. If you can accept that, then you open the door to figure some things out.
Don't take anything too seriously. So a lot of stuff's gonna happen in life, and if you take everything seriously to the most slightest detail, then you're not gonna see what's actually going on. Take your time, understand what's going on, whatever the problem is, and then approach it calmly.
Best advice I've ever received. You can't make everybody happy. All right, there's just some people out there that are, they just don't want to be happy at that point. They're kind of built in miserable, I guess, but don't make yourself miserable trying to make everybody happy, for sure. You can't make everybody happy. Because, you want to make sure everybody's happy or everybody's pleased or they're all in a good mood, but some people, no matter what you do, you just can't make them happy.
How about explore the world? Or have a friend, you have to be a friend.
Yeah, that's probably a good one. We tell our kids that a lot. If you want people to respect you, if you want people to like you, if you want people to be like you, that you have to be a good person.
I got this really big job being a museum director, and someone said, Sarah, you could work 24 hours a day and not get everything done. She said, leave work at 5:30 and leave work.
If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? My dad always said that.
Live life. If you want to do something, go do it, man. Tomorrow's not promised.